Hey, you see that? Mark's voice breaks the quiet of the trail. He's standing a few steps ahead, one boot nudging something half buried in wet leaves. The three of them had been hiking for hours, the sun dipping low enough that the trees were already throwing long shadows across the dirt path. A breeze wound its way through the pines, carrying the smell of damp earth and old wood. Looks like a book, Jenna says, crouching down. Her fingers brush away the leaves to reveal a leather cover, cracked and swollen from years of moisture. The edges of the pages are dark, almost brittle. Aaron joins them, dropping his pack with a thud. What are the odds it's just a love diary from some hiker? Bet it's nothing. Only one way to find out, Mark says, prying it open. The paper is yellowed, the handwriting small and tightly packed, as if the writer didn't want to waste a single inch. There's no name inside, just the words Day 1, scrawled at the top of the first page. He reads aloud. Day 1, the woods are quiet. Too quiet. It's easier to hear the small things when the forest holds its breath. Aaron grins. Alright, creepy diary time. Let's save it for later. By the time they reach their campsite, the last of the sunlight is fading, the treetops burning orange against the deepening blue sky. They work quickly, tent stakes in the ground, kindling gathered, a match struck. Soon the fire is alive, spitting sparks into the night air. Alright, Aaron says, let's see what the mystery book has for us. Mark flips a few pages ahead. The firelight dances across the ink. Day 5. People move differently when they think they're alone. They walk heavier, they breathe louder, they leave pieces of themselves behind without realizing. The fire cracks, sending a pop echoing into the trees. Jenna glances into the shadows before forcing a smile. Probably just someone trying to be spooky. Day 8. If you want to know where they sleep, look for the things they keep closest. The things they can't leave behind. Aaron lets out a low whistle. Somebody had issues. Outside the ring of firelight, the forest has grown still. No wind, no rustling leaves, just the distant drip of water somewhere far off. Mark turns another page. Day 12. The owl call works best. It makes them stop and listen. Once they answer back, I know they're not paying attention anymore. Somewhere in the dark, faint and far away, an owl calls, as if on cue. Nobody laughs this time. The fire had settled into a steady glow, burning low but hot. Shadows rippled against the tree trunks, swaying with every shift of the flames. No one said much for a moment, listening to the faint echo of that owl call fading into the distance. Mark licked his lips and turned another page. Day 15. It's not the sight of them that tells me everything. It's the sound, a zipper opening, a match striking, the scrape of metal against stone when they set down a pot. Once I know their rhythm, I can move without them hearing me. Jenna shifted on her log, rubbing her arms. Feels like they're right here, she muttered. Aaron smirked, but it didn't reach his eyes. Guy had an imagination, I'll give him that. Mark kept reading. Day 18. I watch their fires die. When the flames are gone, they're blind. Their eyes take minutes to learn the dark, but mine have lived here long enough to see without light at all. The words sat heavy in the air. Somewhere beyond the firelight, a branch snapped, sharp, quick, like something stepping just once before going still again. Aaron turned his head toward the sound, but saw only blackness between the trees. Mark flipped the page slowly. Day 21. If you're quiet enough, you can stand just beyond the reach of their light and they will never know. You can listen to them talk about nothing, laugh about things that won't matter in the morning. Jenna glanced over her shoulder again. Could just be a raccoon, she whispered. Mark didn't answer. He was already reading the next entry. Day 24. I don't rush. I wait. Sometimes I wait days. It's easier when they start to feel safe. That's when they forget to look behind them. The wind stirred, carrying with it the faint smell of wet earth and something sharper, smoke, but not from their fire. Aaron broke the silence. Alright, that's enough for tonight. Mark didn't close the book. His thumb rested against the final page that had writing. This one was blank except for the neat, small print at the top. Day 412. The space beneath it was empty, waiting. The campers zipped the tent closed, the canvas muffling the soft hiss of the fire behind them. Inside, the air was warm but heavy, scented faintly with smoke and damp earth. Mark lay on his sleeping pad, journal clutched loosely in one hand. "I don't like it," he whispered. "Everything about this feels wrong." Jenna shivered, tucking her knees to her chest. "It's just the story," she said, though her voice wavered. "It's just a story." Aaron's laugh sounded hollow. "Yeah, just words. Nothing alive can get in here." Then the forest responded. A faint hoot drifted through the canvas, slow, deliberate, just like the journal described. It wasn't far, it wasn't random, it was meant. Snap! A twig broke near the edge of the clearing. Another snap. The fire outside flickered, though they couldn't see it from inside the tent. Mark swallowed hard. Jenna froze. Even Aaron stopped trying to sound brave. Another hoot, closer this time. Something shifted just beyond the canvas. A soft scrape, then silence. Aaron sat up abruptly, gripping his hunting knife. "I'm going to see what it is," he said, his voice low but firm. Before anyone could stop him, he unzipped the tent and stepped into the dark. The flap snapped shut behind him. Silence fell. Then, a scuffling sound. Outside the tent, just beyond the fabric, something moved. Something heavy, something deliberate. Jenna and Mark pressed against the opposite wall, straining to see. Nothing, only shadows, only the darkness pressing in. And then, the unmistakable sound of footsteps approaching the tent. Slow, careful, soft. Their hearts pounded. They couldn't tell if it was Aaron returning, or something else entirely. The occasional crunch of leaves under boots. A new group of campers wound their way through the pines, searching for a clearing to set up camp. The air was crisp, carrying the faint scent of moss and wet earth. One of them, Carla, paused, her eyes catching something half buried at the edge of the path. She crouched, brushing away leaves, and pulled out a leather-bound journal. The cover was cracked and swollen from moisture, but it seemed almost too intact. "Looks old," she said, flipping it open. The pages were filled with small, precise handwriting, each entry marked by a simple day number, day 1, day 5, day 8, all the way to the last page. Her friends crowded around as she flipped to the end. A single day number marked the final page, day 415. She blinked. Beneath it, the page was blank, empty, waiting. One of her friends, trying to sound casual, said, "Why don't we just take it with us? We can read it by the fire tonight. Could be fun." Carla hesitated but nodded. "Yeah, let's do it. Might as well know the rest of the story before bed." The journal was carefully tucked into her pack. They continued down the trail toward their campsite, unaware that the forest around them had already grown still, holding its breath, waiting for the next entry. And somewhere, beyond the trees, the faint echo of an owl hoot answered.
Thank you for hanging around until the end of our tale. Every view is appreciated. If you have enjoyed it, please hit that like button and considering commenting and subscribing.